Hi everyone, again I'm Demitrius Cruz, your academic advisor for today. This is our SGD small group discussion. We're in Butte Hall 505. It's like a regular classroom. This is what a typical classroom looks like. This is what mostly what you would be in throughout your courses. Just a couple of housekeeping rules is the bathrooms are down the hall on the right hand side. Also the drinking fountains, you don't have to raise your hand, we're not in high school anymore, you can just excuse yourself when you need to go. I am going to ask you though, if you can please put away your phones, if you can stay on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just for this hour. I'm going to give you a lot of important information and I want you guys to be attentive and because it's really going to help you when we register and throughout your Chico State experience. Also, do I have any questions so far? Perfect. Can we please bring out those folders they gave you? And we're going to take out a couple forms in there. There's, pull out the GE planning sheet, please. Also, your ELM EPT scores and the survey. With the survey, I'm going to ask you if you can please fill it out, leave comments, be real. You don't have to hide, you don't have to try to like me, just say what you want. We take those into consideration, it's very important. Only please use ink, pen, black ink pen. The scanner won't read them. And that is your ticket into the register room. If we don't have that survey, you won't be able to register for your classes. And I would love for you to read those surveys too. Okay, we're jumping right into the Chico website. So this is our Chico website. I'm sure you guys have all been in here before. And our first thing that we're going to explore is our portal. So we just sign in. Sign in quick. And I'm sure you guys have all been here. This is where your student service, your student center is. This is where your records, finance, everything. Blackboard Learn is on here. This is where your teachers are going to communicate you. This is where the administration is going to communicate you through. Everything you basically need is kind of like your own little station here at Chico State, your own personal. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the student center. So this is a very important place. This is where you see your classes, your schedules. Also, this is where you would look at if you need things to do, if you don't have your paperwork turned in, or this also tells you your what you have to owe for your new coming semester. Basically, anything administrative, this is where they're going to contact you through. So going back to the portal, Blackboard Learn is also when your teachers are going to email you through. Okay, so that was the portal. So going to the class schedule. So this is really important. I'm going to have you guys actually write out these dates, put a star next to them, do what you have to do, put them in your phone, memorize them. They're very important dates. The first date is July 15th. You need to have your documentation. This means your immunizations, this is your transcripts from your senior, anything that has to deal with documentations in either in the Office of Registrar or the admissions, they need to have all that due by the 15th. Next date would be July 25th through the 27th. So you guys, y'all have 3 times to register for classes or to drop them if they don't work for you. And this is today, Sumo is one of them where you'll have to drop them until tomorrow at midnight. So let me erase this. So today today, sumo, till tomorrow at midnight. Is when you can add classes, drop them. If you don't like what you have here today, you can go back with your mom, dad, whoever you live with, guardian, and you can sort it out between tomorrow and midnight. Like I was saying, the other important date is July 25th to the 27th. They're going to contact you through your portal to see when you can register between those 2 days. That's your second opportunity to add and drop classes. Your next important date is August 1st through September 2nd. This is going to be your third time to either add and drop classes with it being okay. And then the next important date is August 22nd. First day of school. Please be here. This is what you guys all have been working for. I want you to be here on your first day of school. So these were the important dates that I want you guys to please star, memorize, like I said, put them in your phone, whatever you have to do, because they're very important. We don't want you to miss these important dates. Perfect. So going on to campus maps. So campus maps. This is a really simple map. It's actually on the folder of your Summer O on the back. This is where you can just look to find classes, buildings where you're going to be stationed at. You'll probably get a hold of it and know the campus within 2 to 3 weeks of you being here. This is just an easy way to get around Chico State. So that was the campus maps. So now I'm going to the directory. So this is an amazing database where you can find departments, staff, students, faculty, anyone that works on this campus and that or comes here as a student, you can find on the campus. So that's where you can, so say that you want to find the English. Loading. Okay. So while that comes up, it'll come up, and then the whole department will come up, everyone that works into that department. Perfect. So we just click department, English. So this is where the building's at, the email, the general email for that department, the phone number, the website, and whoever works in the English department is listed right here. Also the name, their title, phone number, and email to contact them. So this database is pretty great to look for, and if you don't know their email number, you just look up their name and they'll pop up. So the library tab's right here. I'm not going to click on it. It's just a great resource to use when you're coming here to Chico State. I'm pretty sure you're going to use it throughout your experience here. It's just an awesome resource, easy to maneuver through. Okay. Now I'm going to jump right back over here to catalog. Catalog is going to be your best friend, literally your best friend. So you always want to make sure you're on the 2016 to 2017 year, because you guys are freshmen. This is the year you're entering. This is the year. These are the standards they're going to hold y'all to. I came in 2014, 2015, so I have different standards and requirements that you guys might have, y'all might have. So just different requirements, requirements. So basically, maneuvering through the catalog, you have the academic programs. So all the majors there is listed right here. Every major that we offer here at CSU Chico is listed right here. Just click, let's say we want to agriculture. Click on agriculture. The agriculture page comes up right here on the left-hand side. Department info will pop up, the College of Agriculture, the Agriculture Department. It tells you the number, email. The agriculture website explains what it is, what degree you can get into, you can receive from it, and then it's there, so forth. Okay. So then we have courses. Courses are 4-letter acronyms, and these are all the courses we offer here through Chico State. All these courses are within the academic programs, so they go co in hand. And all the courses will have a 3-digit number after them as well. So that's something you can look into. So, for example, we see child. And if you don't know the acronym, you always can just hover over it. See, like Chinese, CHNS, means Chinese, CHLD, child development. It'll tell you the description of what it is. We click on child development. Every course that deals with child development is on here. And then once we click child development, right here, it tells us what that is. Explains what that course contains, what it's about. Basically just an introduction paragraph right there for you guys to see. Perfect. Going on to degree maps. So right here is a perfect way to plan out your 4-year university here at Chico State. It gives you courses to take within every semester you are here. So that's a great tool you have under your belt. Also, you don't have to go by it. It's just a suggestion by your major to plan out your 4 years here. Perfect. So now I'm going into the policies. So I'm going to just go back to the home page. Turn this off for a bit. And I'm going to go into the policies. The first policy, are you guys good with this? All right, I'm going to erase it. First policy I'm going to target is academic probation. Anytime you fall below a 2.0, you are placed on academic probation. Academic probation is not a bad thing. Don't think of it as like, oh my God, I'm going to get kicked out of the university. No, it's basically when you're driving a car and that light comes on, it's warning you something's wrong, adjust it. Where do we adjust it? Academic advising. SSC, Student Service Center, 220. That's where you can go. They'll contact you saying, hey, what's going on? Let's work what's not working. Let's work out what's not working and get you back on track to make you above that 2.0. So anytime you fall below 2.0, academic advising will be contacting you. Perfect. Now I'm going to target our grading system here at Chico State. Remember how in high school you guys could get A+? Well, Chico State, you can't get an A+. And pluses and minuses count. They count for a 0.3% percentage. So, here at Chico State, we don't give out A+, D-, or F+. It's just something we don't do here at Chico State. But since pluses and minuses do count, you could get a C+, a C-, for example. You get a C-, that becomes a 1.7. If we're looking at GPAs, C- equals 1.7. A C+ can equal a 2.3 GPA. So this is what I mean, pluses and minuses do count. Like I said, people might say C's get degrees. C's do get degrees, but C- don't. Because if you fall below a 2.0, you're on academic probation. So that's our grading policy here. Another grading policy here we have at Chico State is withdrawing from the withdrawing from your courses. With that withdrawing, you have a W, you have a WI, you have an I, and then you have an IC. A W means withdraw authorize. A WI means unauthorized. WU. WU means withdraw unauthorized. So withdraw authorized means, say that you want to drop a course and you are in the process of dropping a course. You would need to get a form from the Office of Registrar, SSC 110, Office of the Registrar. Go to that professor, fill out that form, and then take it back to the Office of Registrar and make sure that they dropped you from that course. And that basically means withdrawal authorized. They let you drop that course. And to withdraw authorized, you can do it between, this only happens through the fourth and plus weeks after school starts. So after after August 22nd, after 4 weeks after that, you can withdraw unauthorized. And to withdraw unauthorized, you need a serious and compelling reason, and also you would need your department chair of that course. You would need the dean and the professor. All those 3 signatures. They will need to sign that form, take it back to the Office of Registrars, and make sure they redraw you properly. Now, a WU, a withdrawal unauthorized, means, say you just stop going to classes. So you just stop going to classes, you get a WU, which is equals an F. If you stop going to classes, you were never withdrawn, you get an F on your transcript. It's not good. Always, always withdraw properly. Now, with an I means incomplete. What an incomplete is, say that you're going through the semester and something happens and you make an agreement with your professor saying, hey, something came up, I won't be able to finish out the semester. I really have a good outstanding grade right now. I've been coming to class. Is there something that I can do? And if he or she says yes, there's an agreement that can be made saying that you will do X, Y, and Z to make up for whatever you miss. So an assignment or a final when you come for the next semester, whatever it is, whatever that agreement is, you can get an I. And then so what that means is this: once you complete that agreement, this I will go away off your transcript, and that grade for that class that you earned would be in replace of that. So that's what an I is, incomplete. An IC is incomplete charge. Also an F, meaning you failed to complete this agreement that you made with your professor. So once you fail, that's now going to become an F on your transcript, which is also no good. So whatever the reasons why you didn't complete that agreement, you forgot, it was whatever that reason was, you have an F now. Okay. So, going into repeats. There's two ways to repeat courses. It's a general repeat and repeat for forgiveness. Both of these repeats equal to 24 units, and I'll get into what a unit is a little bit later. 24 units. 28 units, sorry. 28 units. What a general repeat means is that they will take the average grades and now become your new grade. So say that you don't like your grade your first semester and it's a C minus or below, only qualifies for repeats. And you don't, say you get a C minus or below that first time you took a course, and you want to retake it for whatever reason, a better GPA, you can take a general repeat, means your next time you take that course, it'll take the averages of the time of both times you take that course, and that's your new grade. So if you get a C minus and if you get a D the first time you took it, and then you get a B the second time you took it, that equals a C. Now, repeat for forgiveness is only 16 units that you can take of these 28 units. And what this means is it would cancel out that grade that you earned before. So say you got a C minus in one of your courses the first time you took it, and the next time you took it, you got an A. It would cancel out that C minus and replace it with an A. That C minus would still be on your transcript, but for GPA purposes, that A would be factored into your GPA. So those are the two types of repeats that we have here at Chico State. So I mentioned before this thing called academic advising, NSSC 220. Here at Chico State, we have a dual advising system, meaning academic advising is one, and this pertains to general questions, general ideas that you have, that kinks in the roads that you want to smooth out. And you can go to SSC 220. Then we have the other type of advising, which is major advising. That has to do with a lot of major courses, what you have to do within your major. That's why we have, it's called a dual advising system. Both are beneficial. You'll have to see both of them at some point in your time here at your stay at Chico State. Okay. So, academic honesty. That brings us to our next topic. Here, we just want you to be honest. Do your own work. You're paying your way for your own education for yourself. Don't let someone else do your work. Don't cheat. Don't copy. We take that very seriously here at Chico State. It's not good. And you could be referred to judicial affairs, which can be cause you failing that course or you're being withdrawn from the university. What I mean about example about academic dishonesty is plagiarism. Plagiarism is a big thing. Don't use someone else's work. Do it yourself. There's also something called self-plagiarism, meaning if you wrote a paper in one class one semester and you're taking a new class this semester and the topics are the same and you use that same paper, that's self-plagiarizing. You're not allowed to do that, and the consequences could be severe. So just know that we don't take that seriously here. Okay. Perfect. Attendance. Attendance is important. You pay your way to go here, go to class. Don't ever not just show up to class. If you need to miss class, always email your professor to see what you've missed and let them know that you missed the class. Things can come up, we all understand, but it is your job to come to class. You are paying, like I said, coming to university, so you should come to class. An example, your professor might give you a pop quiz that day and you're not in class. You just missed out on points on a quiz. Also, some professors take attendance. That factors into participation. Participation factors into your grade. And don't ever assume one professor's attendance policy is the same as another professor's attendance policy. Treat them all separately, look at the syllabus and what they require and their requirements. Okay. Going on to withdrawing from your classes. Like I said, your first 2 weeks of school, you can withdraw from your portal, via portal. Just go into the student center, add or drop, and then that's it. No extra thing. For the weeks of 3 and 4, so the third, 3 through 4 through the 4th week, you would need your professor's signature. And how you get that signature is you'll pick up that form in SSC 110, Office of Registrar. They have the withdrawal form. You will go to your professor, have them sign that form, and then you take it back to the Office of Registrar, and then they withdraw you. And then that's when you will get that W on your transcript. Just means your withdrawal. No penalties. Now, 4 weeks and above, you would need a serious and compelling reason, the department's chair, the dean of the college, and your professor's signature, all 3 of those signatures on that form that you got from the Office of Registrar. They will need to sign that. Once they sign, take it to the Office of Registrar, and they will withdraw you. And that's, again, a W on your transcript, no penalties. But the key factor in that, you do need a serious and compelling reason after the 4th week of school. So just letting you guys know. Okay. On the same note of withdrawing, don't ever just withdraw all your classes. Always talk to an academic advisor, an SSC 220, an academic advising office, and they will figure out what's the best solution for your situation. Whatever they find out suits you, they know. So just don't ever withdraw from your classes. The next thing is called a PEL. A planned educational leave. So this happens when, I hope it doesn't ever happen to y'all, but if you have a situation where you just need to leave Chico, you have things at home that you need to work on, you need to work so you can support yourself for the next semester, whatever the situation is, you can take a PEL. And what that PEL means, it holds your place here at Chico State up to 2 semesters. Meaning, if, say you go home for 1 semester and you want to come back, you don't have to reapply to Chico State. You took the PEL, they hold your spot, you can just register for your classes. Simple as that. It's just a placeholder for you up to 2 semesters. And I want to emphasize, don't just ever stop going to your classes or don't just drop your classes out of the ordinary. Because if you drop all your classes or if you stop going to your classes, it could equal to an F on your transcript. And always see an academic advisor. Okay. Now, I'm going to turn this bad boy back on. And I am going to go into GE, General Education. Oh, no, lied. Sorry. I'm going to go into grad requirements. Okay. So grad requirements. Grad requirement number 1. You need 120 units in order to graduate from here at Chico State. Remember when I said a unit? No one knew what a unit is? Well, a unit just think is a measure of time. So, 1 unit is equal to 1 hour. Inside class, plus 2 hours outside of class. When I mean outside class, this can be studying, this can be homework, anything that has to do with that class. Most classes don't take up to the 2 hours, but there is those classes where you need that extra 2 hours outside of class to accomplish that grade that you want to. So, I was going back. So here at Chico State, our general typical course class is a 3-unit class. 3-unit course. 3 units. So that means it's 3 hours inside class. And when I mean 3 hours, it's just not every day. This can be spread out. This can be 1 lecture. Just depends. You can have 50 minutes of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or an hour and 15 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursday. However, it's spread out. It's 3 units a week. Plus 6 hours outside. So, yes. And here, to graduate in 4 years, we typically recommend 15 units a semester. So we say 15 units a semester plus multiply 8 semesters, that equals that 120 units. So, does that kind of make sense? 15 units a semester, there's 8 semesters and 4 years, that equals 120 units. All right, I'm going to try to make it a little simpler. We do have something what's called a unit formula. And what that unit formula means is the number of units times 3 plus extras is going to be less than or equal to 60 hours a week. I'm going to go back to this extras. What are extras? Extras can be you joined a club, an organization, or you doing sports, extracurricular activities. You could be hanging out with your friends. Whatever it is, that's extras. But here's the catch. This is how we do number of units. You have 15 units times 3, that equals 45 hours. That's already a full-time job. That's actually 5 hours past a full-time job. Here at Chico State, it is your job to come here to go to school. But then you add your extras. And that's only, so we do, if you have 60 hours and 45 minus 45, you only have 15 hours left to do extras. And it needs to be less than or equal to 60 hours a week. So there's really not a lot of time in your week for extracurricular activities because all that time is spent into your classwork and your schoolwork. Perfect. Did you guys get all this? Did y'all get all this? Perfect. Grad required number 2. Upper division. So, you would need at least 40 units of upper division. And how we class upper division, it's 100 level courses, 200 level courses, 300 level, and then 400. So 100 to 200 is considered lower division. 300 to 400 level courses are considered upper. Division. So this is what we mean. This is where you're going to meet your 40 units mostly in your 300 to 400 level. And we say to start taking up division when you reach the 45, at least 45 units. And that's when we suggest you can start taking upper division. There's also another thing that goes into this is we have 0 to 29 makes you a freshman. Then we have 30 to 659, that makes you a sophomore. Then we have 60 to 89, junior. And then 90 and on, senior. So this is a breakdown of classes that we have here at Chico State. And like I said again, we suggest you won't start taking upper division until you completed at least 45 of your units. Perfect. Grad required number 3, residence units. And it's not living in the residence halls or living on campus. It's the units you take here at Chico State. We have this policies because we don't want another student from another college just coming over and only taking one course and graduating from Chico State and he or she saying, I have a Chico State diploma, and they graduate from Chico State. So we put this tap on at least 30 units that you need to have here at Chico State for you to get your diploma. Don't worry about this. You would have it at least completed by your sophomore year, the beginning of your sophomore year, if you're taking those 15 units a semester. If you're only taking those 12 units a semester, you can have it done about your mid-sophomore year. Perfect. Goes on to graduation requirement number 4, general education. And I'm going to go into a big spill of general education. It's the thing you need to take away from graduation requirement general education is you need to at least have 48 units within general education. And I'll go into general education a little bit. 5 is diversity. We have 2 diversities. One is your global culture, and the other is your USD. There are 2 courses, 2 classes that you have to take, 3 units each. Your global culture is the study outside of the United States, in the globe, or in the world. Anything that has to deal with other backgrounds, ethnicities, anything outside. United States is diversity in cultures within our own country, the United States. So this can be Chicano studies, women's studies, anything that has to do within the United States. And we have you take these courses because you're going to be working with different types of people when you get into the real world. Well, we're in the real world, but into your career world, you're going to be working with different types of ethnicities, people. So we want to make sure you're aware of what you might potentially see out there. So that was graduation requirement number 5. Number 6 is your AIR, your American institutions. 2 courses as well. It's your political science, your Pols 155, and it's your history 130. I know some may have completed the AP exam for American history. That would count as your history 130. That means you won't have to take that course. I know some have completed the AP American Government, but unfortunately that will not count as for Political Science 155 because in our Political Science 155 we have local and state government. But that class, the AP score, if you scored a 3 or above, will count for something, and see me after and I can gladly go over what it counts for. So those are your 2 classes, and I'll get a little more into depth when I go into general education. So graduation requirement number 7 is major. You need to have a major declared by the time you graduate here from Chico State. I know we're all undeclared students, but we can't major in undeclaredness. So with that being said, we typically want you to have a major selected by 45 units of completed. So that way you can still be on track for graduation. Simple as that. Graduation requirement number 8 Oh, wait, I lied. Sorry. 7, graduation requirement number 7 is your mathematics and writing. 2 of these courses will be completed in your general education when I go over that. And the 3rd course would be a writing proficiency. It's in your major. It's a course on how to write within your major. Different majors write differently, and with your major, they're teaching you how to write how they're supposed to write. So there's 3 courses in graduation requirement number 7. Graduation requirement number 8 is a major. And like I said, you can't major in undeclaredness. You need to at least have, it's suggested you have a major selected by your 45 units completed. Last but not least, graduation requirement number 9. is 2.0. Here at Chico State, you have to graduate with a Chico 2.0, cumulative 2.0, and a major 2.0, and if you potentially have a minor, that has to be a 2.0 also. So just always beware, keep your grades up. Like I said again, if you fall below 2.0, you would be placed on academic probation. Nothing to worry about, just go to academic advising 220, SSE 220, and they'll help you figure that out. And correct. So that was our graduation requirements. Now we're moving on to general education. So general education, so GE, this consists of 48 units. It's a big old bubble. There's 3 components within these 48 units. The first one is 18 units for foundation. It's 6 units in air, American institution, and then it's 24 units in your breath pathway. Now, I know a lot might say, why do I have to take general education? It's kind of just like high school. Why can't I just jump into my major? General education, we have general education because not only makes you a well-rounded person, but it also makes you explore things that you would have never explored if general education wasn't there. About everything you're going to learn as an adult, general education has right there preparing you. Also, it's a great stepping stone for when you get into upper division classes or your major classes. It prepares you for those as well. And also, it just explores your mindset. And since we're all undeclared, general education is a great way to explore different majors, different aspects of life that you want to potentially have a career in. So that's something great about general education. It's not a Debbie Downer, and it's a great thing that we have it. Okay, so when I said 18 units in foundation, you have 6 classes that you have to complete within the foundation. That makes 18. 3 times 6, 18. Oh, 3 units sometimes. Okay, so the first one is oral communication. It's a fancy word. So it's your A1, oral communication. Meaning speech. And if y'all want to start writing some of these classes that you find interesting that I'm going to go through, that'll be great. It's going to help you in when you register for your own classes. So go ahead and write them down if it pertains to you. Speech. There's 2 classes: CMST 131, Communication Studies 131, or Communication Studies 132. 131 is basically speech solo. It's individual speech. It's basically what I'm doing, speaking to all y'all, and it's individualized. CMST 132 is more of a group speaking. You go up with a group, you say your speech as together, your thoughts come together. It's all hands-on with multiple people. So if you like being by yourself, 131 is going to be good for you. If you like being with other people, go ahead and write down 132, and that might be the class for you. Going on with written communication, A2. Written Q, another word for English. And this is where I want y'all to look at those ELM and EPT scores that y'all brought out. This is where it's going to take place. If you scored below a 147 on the EPT, English Placement Test, you're going to have a workshop that's going to be a part of your English 130. And if you scored a 147 and above, you can either pick English 130I or Journalism 130I. whichever your preference is. Journalism is more about blogish. It's articles. There's short ones, but there's multiple. And English is a lot reading and writing essays and so forth and so that. Just reiterate. If you did score below 147 on the EPT, you don't have to raise your hand. Just know that you're going to sign up for English 130, and English 30. So that's that. English 30 is that extra preparatory workshop class for you. So A3 is critical thinking. And it's basically the same thing. It's exactly what it says. And the most popular classes is Psychology 100, Philosophy 102, and CMS 255. Those are the most popular ones. Philosophy is exactly what it says. Psychology, about what people think. CMST is argumentative and debate. That's a really good one. So if you find those three, or geos, whatever, which one you prefer, take one. Quantitative reasoning is your A4. And that is another fancy word for math. Again, your now these are your ELM scores. If there's going to tell you if you need to take another course besides these ones listed. And that's you. Don't raise your hand. You know it's on your paper. And if you don't have those scores, please when we go to lunch or when we have time, tell me and I'll run you over to the ELM EPT's score table and we can get that situated out. Just know if you don't have those scores, if you never took those tests, you won't be able to register for classes today. So make sure you get in contact with me or run over to the table solo so we can get that figured out for you. But for math, if it says to jump into write in general education, any of those classes work for general education. Just honestly, we are undeclared, and so I would advise you not to select the math course right now in case you want to be pre-nursing later and you take Math 101, but in reality you need Math 105, so you basically took one math class for nothing. Well, it didn't count for nothing, it counted for your A4, but you could have took 105, it would account for your major and your A4. With all these A's, these A1, A2, A3, we call them the golden four. Because you need a C minus or better to complete these courses. Without a C minus or better, you will have to retake these courses. Going on to B1 and B2. I like to reference them as life and rocks. B1 is your physical. This is more of your chemistry, your physics, the applying it. And B2 is your life science, about biology, the way plants grow, and so forth. I would not advise you guys, and I strongly suggest you do not take these classes in the same semester, because if you see right here, there is a lab requirement in both of those classes, and it's a lot of reading. It's a high intense course, so I would suggest just taking one and then enrolling in another one another semester. Perfect. So you all got this? I can erase this? Mm-hmm. How you guys doing? Do you guys need a stretch? Good? Mm-hmm. Great? Awesome? Wonderful. Going on to your American institutions, our AIR. Like I was saying, graduation requirement number 6 is 2 classes, your history, 130, polls, 155. Like I said before, AP, contact me after and I'll get that sorted out for you. But I would also suggest not to take both of these classes in the same semester. A lot of reading, and as a first-time freshman, it could be overwhelming. But you do need to complete these. It doesn't need to be within your first year or second year. You complete them within your 4 years of being here at Chico State. They just need to be completed. Also, it's great. So that was general education with American institutions. So going down to writing intensive, remember that English 130I I showed you for your A2 written communications, or that journalism? That y'all have to take? That I means it's a writing intensive. That means that it's a more writing-based course. Makes you proficient in that and writing within that course. Here at Chico State, you need 4 to complete 4 writing intensive. 1 is meant through your A2 written communications, either journalism or English. The other is meant through your capstone. I'll explain what a capstone is later, but we don't have to worry about it. It's in your upper division. It can be either in your upper division pathway or it can be in your major, one of your major classes. Don't worry about it. You'll get to it later. The other 2 writing intensives would need to be completed within your breadth pathways. And I'll go into your breadth pathways, but those are just any random courses that has an I next to it. And you'll know it's writing intensive because they have that I, just like journalism and English. So how many writing intensives do you need to graduate?
4.
Great. Good stuff, huh? Okay. Now going to general education breadth pathways. So we had 18 units in foundation, we had 6 units in American institution, and now we have 24 units in the breadth pathway. So to explain this, no, you do not have to take all these classes. That would be ridiculous, and you'll be here at Chico State for many, many years. But you do need to take 5 classes from the top portion. And we're just going to focus on the top portion because that's what we call lower division. And what I mean by 5 classes is you have 5 disciplinary areas. C1 is arts, C2 is humanities, D1 individual and society, D2 societal institutions, and E learning for life. Those are the 5 disciplinaries that you need to meet. Now our top ones, think of them as themes. They are themes, but they're called pathways. And they specialize in that, and these courses specialize within that pathway. So for example, C1 is in arts. And you're thinking of taking, you're liking diversity studies. Take that Theater 252, that meets your C1. That's one of the 5 classes off your list. Same thing with C2. You're thinking, you didn't really like diversity studies, but now you're interested in international studies. And then you see religious studies 212. Take that. That's your second course out of those 5 that you complete. So on and then so forth with the D1, D2, and E. One thing I want to elaborate on is you can bounce around through the different pathways. There's 10 different pathways. You can bounce around through them. And it's completely okay. You just need to have those disciplinaries met, those 5 courses met within the 10 different pathways, and you're A-okay. And you can see that because if we zoom in, they're dashed lines. So that means you can weave and bob and weave and bob and weave through the courses. Now moving on to your upper breadth pathway, and it's more of now you only have 3 courses that you need to fulfill, 3 different disciplinary areas, still the same 10 themes and pathways, but you just need to complete 3. And with this one, there's solid lines. These are dotted. These are solid, so that means you have to stay within that pathway for all of your discipline areas. You cannot jump around like you did in lower division. You have to stay in that same pathway. Another thing that I wanted to show y'all was, for example, remember I was talking about your global cultural studies and your United States studies, your diversity, your graduation requirement number 5. You see these little GCs and your USD for like psychology, psych, 151. USD, that means that class fulfills your United States diversity class. Take that class, it fulfills your not only your D1s, individual and society, but also takes off your United States diversity studies. For example, societal institutions, Anthro 112. If you take Anthro 112, it fulfills your global cultural studies because it has that GC and your D2. So you're killing 2 birds at 1 stone. If, for example, you get real smart about it and you take MCGSS, Multicultural Gender Studies, and the pathway of ethics, justice, and policy, you have that I. Remember I said you need 2 more I's. You take one of those I's away, and you get a United States diversity class, and you're completing that individual and society. So technically, you're killing 3 birds with 1 stone just with that 1 class. So that's what we mean with double counting. And when you're choosing classes, you should look out for. One last thing, a couple last things is I was talking about capstones. How to identify a capstone is with a Z, when a Z is next to it. For example, Humanities 300Z, that's a capstone. It'll also meet your capstone requirement and your UDC Arts and Humanities course. Another thing I wanted to show y'all was a really cool thing that we offer to Chico State students with just completing your general education is a breadth pathway minor. And what that is out of these 5 classes, you at least have to complete 3 courses within the same pathway for lower division and 3 courses in the same pathway for upper division. And since you already have to do that in upper division, you'll just have to complete 3 out of those 5 courses in the same pathway to receive a pathway minor. You don't have to do anything extra. It's just one way of making you outstand some other interviewees that are applying for the same job, but you have under your belt a pathway minor that you can throw at your interviewer or your employer. 2 things that can happen with a pathway minor, there's 2 shortcuts. There's a foundation association, and a foundation association goes back to the foundation in general education. If you took in CMST 255 for your critical thinking A3, that course will cover at least one of the 3 in the ethic and justice and policy pathway minor. So if you take CMST Communication Studies 255, again, that class will cover at least one of the 3 that you'll need to contain an ethics, justice, and policy minor. Another shortcut would be a humanities course, a language, and that's a wild card. So you can place that anywhere you want. Any language you want, you can put in international studies, and that will cover at least one of the 3 that you need to retain that pathway minor. Okay, so that's a pathway minor. It's not obligated, it's not mandatory, it's just something we offer for our students to outweigh other people in the job force or career force. One last thing that I want to mention is we really advise you to maybe only take 2 courses in your foundation, your first semester. The rest, either major or in the breadth pathway that I explained. It can get overwhelming as a freshman, we know, so we want you to be successful and we don't want you to set you up for fail, so we recommend only maybe taking 2 out of your whole foundation. Okay, I think that's all for our small group discussion. Do I have any questions? Perfect, thank you guys, and let's go eat. Thank God. Oh. Hello.